warming up into the mid-70s easily for our Tuesday afternoon. Overnight low temperatures will fall back off into the low 40s, so a chilly night and a chilly start to our Wednesday. But we're going to make a run at 80 degrees for the first time this year. I think an opportunity for most of us to hit 80 for our Wednesday afternoon. That's your forecast. The WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Good morning, LKN just joined the National Sarcasm Society. Like they need our support.
WSIC. Local starts here.
Caring for a sick child or aging parent? Visit equityhealthcares.com. They bring expert, personalized care wherever you need it. In office, virtually, or at your home. Equity Health Primary Care or healthcare that fits your life? Visit equityhealthcares.com.
Home of the best talk.
WSIC. Local starts here. The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. You're listening to Community Centered, and I'm here with my friend Margi Kyle. This is Debbie O'Handley. What have you to say on this beautiful Tuesday, sunny that it is, Miss Margi?
And tomorrow's supposed to be 80.
Oh, well, heck yeah. Let's get our bikinis out.
And I just hope everybody has their vaccines up to date for the measles that are going around.
Yikes. What now? Measles?
Measles.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Throw it in with all the different flus and the COVID. And apparently COVID's picking up speed a little bit as well.
You know, springtime, this transition time is when we start to see a lot of this stuff coming out, right? It's cold one day, hot the next.
And then you mix in the green stuff.
Allergy season. We're coming into the season of green, which technically should be St. Patrick's Day. As an O'Handley, I would be remiss.
But I don't want to drink it in my coffee.
Yeah, I would get kicked out of the clan if I didn't mention St. Patrick's Day. So for those of you celebrating, happy St. Patrick's Day coming up soon. And
how are you going to celebrate it?
Usually my husband will cook a corned beef. Not my favorite meal, but traditionally that's what he does. And he sometimes dyes his white beard green. And
oh my gosh!
Does silly
things.
Take a
picture.
Yes, and he's all things Irish. We had a dog named Finn McCool, so
oh my gosh,
he is Daniel Patrick O'Handley, and I am fully in support of him being an Irishman, but me not so much. So we'll be celebrating that, and we're going to teach the ladies at Hope House how to celebrate it, something they've never done before. So
Probably
they'll be cooking the corned beef,
yeah.
and not sure how that will go over, but we'll attempt it. And speaking of Hope House, we are headed to the finish line, Margi. I thought I would never be able to say that in this whole process.
I'm so excited for you.
It's been a long, long journey, but
yes.
We are calling in inspections this week. So fingers crossed, everybody say your good juju. We will be having Courage and Journey inspected, and then we'll get our CO and we can move in and decorate and do all the good stuff. So excited.
I think my granddaughter's still working on those pictures.
Tell her, get painting.
I know.
Yeah, we're headed.
Oh, she'll just reproduce them.
We are headed literally into the finish line, and I know my staff is going to be thrilled because I have furniture and stuff stored everywhere, every possible space, and I know there's been some marvelous people that have donated things that they're holding on to that are saying,
and I know Kurt was still holding on to some stuff.
When are you getting this stuff? So hopefully,
if
you're listening, it is coming to a head here, and we will surely be decorating very soon. And then I think we'll have an open house and tell you what we're doing with them.
Oh, I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, we're super, super excited. And
and I think next week we have your guest on.
Yes, Kaylee Goforth and I think Nikki Cohen are coming, both of them from the Absolute Hope Foundation. They're going to be talking about a gala that they are putting on with us.
Yes.
Called the Bet on Us Casino Night at the Peninsula. Traditionally, we always do our Heart of Hope Gala every February. But this year they came to us and said, hey, do you want to partner? And we can do something together. So it has been delightful to work with them.
What's the date of that?
It is March 29th,
okay.
6 to 10 at the Peninsula. And I think WSIC or Lake Norman Women's Magazine might be a sponsor. So yay team. And it's going to be something different. And 2025 is a year of doing things differently, I think.
Yes.
You know,
I hope attitudes
yeah,
become a little different.
We're opening 2 houses. We're doing a different fundraiser. We're doing a golf tournament for the first time. So
Well, that'll be fun.
we just thought
We can help you there, too.
Yeah, we just thought we would do something a little out of the box and do, you know, just surprise everybody with what we got up our sleeve. So I'm excited about that. What else is going on? I know you and I are going to be attending a training on Thursday.
We are. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
our last week's guest, Purple Spaces, invited Margie and I to take the training to be trained on how to identify and work with folks who might be victims of domestic violence.
Yes.
So this is my everyday that I am immersed in at Hope House. However, sometimes it's good to step outside of the box and learn something new.
And we don't deal with it, thank heavens, all the time, but I'm sure it's out there.
I think you're going to be surprised,
I think
Margie.
I will be too.
And I think you're going to be surprised to see how many folks in the community or in different spaces that you're in that you never knew.
I know.
And you might be enlightened by what you're going to learn. So I'm anxious to take that training and bring back.
Well, it's always good to learn something else that you can add to what
you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Arf, yes.
So I'm thrilled that
I've learned a lot of new tricks in the last 2
You
years
have.
that I didn't want to learn.
I bet. So I'm excited about that training, and I know people are like, "Why do you get excited about domestic violence training?" Because
if you can help in any
right.
way possible.
That's right. There's always a gem or a takeaway that we can learn together on what would be something that we could do to help people. And I'm all about helping, as are you.
Yeah.
And I know our guest today is all about helping out his community as well.
And I was poking around on their website.
What'd you find?
And I found a quote. It says it's the president's message. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Beautiful.
And for Rotary, I can't think of a better quote.
If we sat back and really took in the different Rotaries that we have in this community and the amount of them and the different missions that they're involved in and the different impact collectively, what they've done for this Lake Norman area and this Lake Norman community is phenomenal.
Well, and I
Phenomenal.
love the fact my dad was a huge Rotarian.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to say to me, as soon as they let women in, that's the first thing you need to do.
Yeah.
But once you're a member of Rotary, you can go to any of the clubs.
Yes.
And just see what they do. And it just such an eye-opening experience.
I believe if you're traveling too, if
Yes.
you're visiting a certain community, you
Yes.
can join a Rotary meeting there. So
And I was asked to be on the Rotary International, and we weren't traveling then because of COVID.
Mhm.
So we were doing it by Zoom.
Mhm.
And that was
I
fascinating.
bet.
But then I said to myself, you know what? I need to just get back and meet face to face
You
because
need to start peopling again.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I missed it.
Well, I think he's gonna share some exciting things with us and some partners they have at their upcoming event. And I know for the first time in many years, Hope House is not participating, and you as well, Little Smiles. And I think what that says about us, Margie, is that we're sharing, right?
Absolutely.
Hope and Smiles is for everybody.
But for the most part, they've been so good to us.
I love to see that some of our other non-for-profit partners are going to be supported and are going to be able to get some publicity and some support. And to me, that's what hope is.
So we are going to take a short break, but
Mhm.
we're coming back to Men That Cook. You do not want to miss it. And absolutely feel free to call in.
Yes, you can always call. If you have a question for Margie, myself, or our guest, it's 844-STUDIO-4. Give us a call. We want to give a shout out to the McIntosh Law Firm for their
Yes.
partnership and for sponsoring this show. We are delighted to have them on board. We'll see you shortly when we come back here on Community Centered.
Community Centered, presented by McIntosh Law, a staple in our community since 1997. We'll return on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, our warmest week of 2025 so far starts now. Plenty of sunshine. Warm it up into the mid-70s easily for our Tuesday afternoon. Overnight low temperatures will fall back off into the low 40s, so a chilly night and a chilly start to our Wednesday. But we're going to make a run at 80 degrees for the first time this year. I think an opportunity for most of us to hit 80 for our Wednesday afternoon. That's your forecast. The WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Nina's Boutique.
Here is the WSIC Community Calendar. The Bet on Us Casino Night Fundraiser Gala is almost here. This black tie event, co-hosted by Absolute Hope Foundation and Hope House Foundation of Huntersville, supports local families in need. Join us for an unforgettable evening and learn how these organizations are making a difference in our community. Visit AbsoluteHopeFoundation.com for details. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day weekend on Saturday in downtown Mooresville with Shamrocks and Shenanigans. The event features live music, Irish dancers, a drum and pipe band, food trucks, festival adult beverages, cornhole, and a bar crawl. See you Saturday in downtown Mooresville from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Saturday night, the 500 Club in Statesville presents live music with Breaking Point Band. You will hear classics from 70s and 80s rock and have a band experience that you won't forget. Enjoy live music at 6 p.m. Saturday at the 500 Club with Breaking Point Band. Come on out and meet the WSIC team on Saturday, March 29th at Snooze Mattress in Cornelius. We will be doing a ticket giveaway, so stop by and sign up. Maybe Merle Fest. We shall see. We are looking forward to meeting you on Saturday, March 29th at Snooze Mattress in Cornelius from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Spring is in the air, and so are outdoor events at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 2025 calendar already has dates set for the Auto Fair, NHRA, NASCAR, Monster Trucks, Supercross, World of Outlaws, and more. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for season schedules, tickets, and camping information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Merlefest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Macintosh Law is a proud sponsor of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to Community Center. Local does start here. And our guest today, I've known over the years, and I just had to bring him on. And I said to Debbie, what do you think? Bob Wilson, chairman of the Happy Hour Rotary Club, and working very hard on Men That Cook. But first, I loved your story about how this particular Rotary Club got started. You were traveling and you went to a Rotary Club in Amsterdam?
Yeah, that's right, Margie. Rotary is Rotary International, and there's some, 30 or 40,000 clubs throughout the world in some 200 countries, and my wife is from the Netherlands.
Okay.
And we were going to the international convention that at that time was in Birmingham, England. And we landed up in Amsterdam catching planes and for a couple days of relaxation before we went to the event in England. And we wanted to attend a Rotary Club because there are Rotary clubs, like Debbie said, there are probably 7 or 8 Rotary clubs in the Lake Norman area.
That's right.
There are 55 clubs in the general Charlotte area and the 14 counties around Charlotte. And,
wow.
And they're all over the world. So we wanted to attend a Rotary Club, and we found one that was in Amsterdam. It just so happens that it was very close to the red light district, and that's not why we particularly found it, but while we were there, we decided to drop by.
Says a little bit about your personality.
I'm sure it does. But we found that the Rotary Club in Amsterdam, this particular one, was meeting on the second floor above a local restaurant bar. They had a Rotary program. They decided to help us out. They conducted the meeting in English, But they didn't have they had a program, but they didn't have a meal. It was very inexpensive. The people were young. They were energized to do good in their community because Rotary, of course, is a service organization.
Yes.
And what we found, and what we were able to bring back to this market, was that format of a Rotary Club where you meet at a time that is convenient to the people, to the younger people. Most young people today have jobs, they have families, and if they want to join a Rotary Club that is meeting at lunch or in the evening, it's not necessarily convenient to their timetable. So the Happy Hour Rotary Club that we started in Huntersville meets at 5:30 on Monday afternoon. We catch young people coming home from work. They drop by for 1 hour at a Rotary Club that is a happy hour time. We don't have a meal. Some of us might have a beer with our friends or whatever, but it's a normal happy hour. I mean, it's a normal Rotary Club meeting. And then folks go home to their families, and it's worked extremely well, and we've been able to capture the creativity and the mindset of a lot of these younger people. That is
And
really,
your wife was the first president of that club.
she was the first president.
Yeah.
She was the founding president, and
Yeah.
she was also the district governor of the 14 counties around
And
Charlotte.
apparently you were too.
I
or
preceded
are.
her on that job by about 7 or 8 years. But she was one of the, in fact, she was nationally awarded several international awards for some of the work that she did when she was governor. She was actually quite good.
Yeah, well, she still is.
Well, I hope she's listening. Maybe she heard that.
Well, I will send her
You
the
can call
recording.
in 844 Studio 4.
Yes. Yeah. So
But we're always looking for new members.
Yes.
If anybody is interested, just go online and Google Happy Hour Rotary Club Huntersville, and it will direct folks to come and join us if they would be interested in getting part of the Rotary mission. And if they're not in the exact area of where our club meets, we can direct them to any number of Rotary clubs in your marketing area here, because there, as Debbie said, there a lot of Rotary clubs from Troutman all the way to Huntersville.
yeah,
And I think there's breakfast, lunch.
oh yeah,
Are there
the
any that meet for
Huntersville
dinner?
has a breakfast one.
Yeah.
There's breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah.
and a happy hour
How
club.
about that? You covered it all. That's
Now,
awesome.
how did you come up with? I mean, every different club has things to raise money for nonprofits and to support the community. How did you come up with Men That Cook? I think it's brilliant.
I do too.
Every Rotary club that is really successful has a signature event, and if
Yeah.
you look at the Rotary clubs in this area, most of them have something that they do extremely well. And when Innica was the governor, we attended as the governor must do all of the Rotary clubs in our district, and I think at that time there were something like 53, and there was a club in Mount Holly that had an event that was similar to this. It was called Mount Holly Men That Cook, and it was really the town leaders cooking for a luncheon event for the people of the community to come, and they would buy tickets to support scholarships for their local high school. And we looked at that event and we said, we could do something like that because it was quite successful. We could do something like that in the Lake Norman area, Lake Norman Men That Cook, because there are a lot of men that like to cook. Now they might be cooking their wives' recipes or something, or
Doesn't
maybe
matter.
something doesn't
Yeah.
really matter at all. I'm a frustrated chemist, and my wife doesn't let me cook very much. I put a little bit of this and a little bit of that in the pot, stir it up, heat it, and if it doesn't explode, you can eat it.
My
But there are a
husband
lot
was
of people-
smart. He had a fire in the oven the first time he tried to cook, and I said, "You're done."
Well, there are a lot of men, fortunately, that know better than that and me as far as how to cook, and a lot of men really like to do that. And so we knew that there was the resource of cooking men. And then we knew that there were an abundance of small nonprofits that do incredibly good work, that need people to know more about their mission, know about what they do, and they can always use additional funds. I worked as a senior development officer for Habitat for Humanity when it was just getting started back in the 80s. And people understand Habitat. They know that Habitat builds houses for people in need. Hope House is well established here. People know what Hope House does. But Angels and Sparrows, Caterpillar Ministries, Bridge of Hearts, Cool Kids Clubhouse. Do people know the incredible work that these small nonprofits, mostly all volunteer-driven, what these people do in our community to provide that safety net for the people that are on the marginal fringes of our community? So we knew that there was that need, and we knew that there was a resource in the men that knew how to cook. So we decided to try this format and see if it worked. This is our 7th year in doing it. This will be our 5th event because we were down for 2 years for COVID.
Right.
But this small Rotary Club in Huntersville, through this program and through the generosity of the community that's been able to donate money to this event, this Rotary Club will have, at the end of this year, will have poured back over $100,000 of local money back into our community to support the nonprofits that we've been fortunate enough to work with over the years.
That's amazing. That's
Really
amazing.
wonderful.
Yeah. And I don't think, if you've not been involved with Rotary, you have no idea the effect that they've had on our community.
And I think what's astounding too is the variety of non-for-profits that you have on here. I mean, you have feeding people, you have medical, you have all,
Kids with cancer,
you've hit
and
all of the wonderful non-for-profits. And Margie and I talk about this all the time. The amount of support and nonprofits that are in our community is, we do an extraordinary job here in the Lake Norman area. So the fact that you've got a variety of folks doing a variety of different things, Feed NC, Lydia's Loft, clothing people, feeding people, ministering to people, I think is incredible, because sometimes we can get hit when we think of a non-for-profit, we can pigeonhole people into, oh, you must be just doing for the homeless, or you must be just feeding people. But there's a beautiful variety here of folks that I think are going to be recipients of some support, which it makes my heart sing, because they're all they're all partners of ours.
Well, Debbie, I know you've been part of the program, and Margie, you have also. But this is a fun event.
Mm-hmm. It is.
The public is invited to come, and for $20, they buy a ticket to lunch that will be this coming Sunday at the venues on Langtree Road in Mooresville from 11 until 2. And that $20 entrance ticket, they keep it when they go through the door, and they take a plate and they go around the room, and they get a sampling size portion of each of the 15 teams that are there. All the men that cook teams are scattered around the room, and they provide a small sampling of their offering. And then, depending on which team or which nonprofit the patron, the person that's coming to eat, wants to support, they take their ticket for $20 and they put it in a jar in front of that cooking team, and 100% of the proceeds of the gate go to that nonprofit.
Wow!
And in addition to that, we have some judges that have real money that they offer to the teams, depending on the quality of the food that they, as professional cooks and restaurateurs, evaluate. And we can talk about that when we come back after.
We can talk about the raffles too, because I have a good raffle story to share with everyone. But definitely, we're going to come back from break, and we'll be talking with Bob again when we come right back.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the Community Center discussion on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Presented by Macintosh Law.
Well, our warmest week of 2025 so far starts now. Plenty of sunshine, warming up into the mid-70s easily for our Tuesday afternoon. Overnight low temperatures will fall back off into the low 40s, so a chilly night and a chilly start to our Wednesday. But we're going to make a run at 80 degrees for the first time this year. I think an opportunity for most of us to hit 80 for our Wednesday afternoon. That's your forecast. The WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
Harrison's is the home of Work, Western, and wow! We're the Southeast leader in Carhartt, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. The store is filled with Ariat, Cinch, Wrangler, and more. Get great clothing and footwear for the whole family at Harrison's. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
A good soul isn't hard to find, especially if you're listening to WSIC on Tuesdays at 4.
Hello, and welcome to The Good Soul.
The Good Soul, hosted by Patty Alvarez, features real-world conversations that leave you feeling happy and rejuvenated. The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. President Trump today announced a 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum beginning tomorrow. It's a counter move after Ontario placed a levy on electricity imported from the U.S. Trump has said he would also substantially increase other tariffs on Canada April 2nd if the country does not drop tariffs on dairy products and other U.S. goods. Stocks today are mixed. The Dow is down 0.9, the S&P down 0.4, but the NASDAQ is now up 0.2. President Trump is reiterating he will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits. His press release today follows comments from Elon Musk, who has called Social Security a Ponzi scheme and told Fox Business entitlement spending on Social Security and Medicare is a key target for cuts. Small business optimism dropped to a 4-month low in February. Uncertainty is near a record high as small firms assess White House economic policies. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
No radio? No worries.
Just ask Alexa to play WSIC.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered, and we're visiting with our guest, Bob Wilson of the Huntersville Happy Hour Rotary Club. They are hosting an event. When is it, Bob?
It's this coming Sunday.
16th of March.
The 16th of March. Mm-hmm.
At the venues at Langtree, which is Langtree Road in Mooresville. And I know that I have
From 11 to 2.
From 11 to 2. I've gone in past years, and I have to guess there's about 500 to 600 people that show up to this event. And you guys do a great job of parking the cars right, directing traffic, directing people coming in. And it just seems to have such a good flow about it on how you orchestrate these hundreds of people that come to this. I think they come hungry after church. They're looking to have lunch. It's a great way to spend some family time. There's some entertainment there. Usually you have somebody playing the guitar or something. And there are the infamous...
Are you going to play the accordion?
I hope not.
Okay. That might be something to come for.
That'd be a comedy act.
And I know also that you have some infamous raffles every year that you have that people kind of count on coming for to see. What are the exciting raffles that you have? I know one year my husband was the recipient of winning the Yeti cooler filled with alcohol, and that was a happy, happy man for many days afterwards. He had bragging rights for that for a long time, so much so that when he went last year, he dropped his raffle tickets into the bowl and said, "Don't worry about this, folks. I'll be winning again this year." And he didn't, thankfully. But you make it fun. You make it engaging. You make it family-friendly. Folks can bring their families. It's just really a great afternoon to spend with people in our community who care and non-for-profits in our community who care about what they're doing and what their message is to our community. So thank you for doing that. At the end of the day, thank you. We know that, for some of these nonprofits, these can be a make or break event for them financially. Yeah. They depend on these dollars to be able to do the kind of things that they do. So, we get better together, right? And it's that ripple effect that we talked about last week when we throw a pebble out into the lake and it just goes on and on and on. This is what that looks like in our community. And for me, that's hope. And I think we've said this time and time again, the premise of this show is putting hope back in the headline. And sometimes our narrative and what we're hearing all around is sometimes a little bit on the negative side. This is just a way to feel really good about what's happening in our community by supporting our non-for-profits and supporting the wonderful work that the Huntersville Happy Hour Club does. So thank you again, Bob, I know people who've never fundraised before, never pulled off an event, have no idea the hours and sometimes the agony that goes into organizing these. And like you said, during break, you have to vet the non-for-profits. You have to make sure they're all a 501c3 and that they're actually doing what they're saying they're doing. So let's talk about some of those partners on here, Margie, that we see, because I know that our mission, sponsored by the McIntosh Law Firm, is to talk to our non-for-profits about the work that they're doing. So some of these folks we're well familiar with, right? We know Angels and Sparrows. They're a soup kitchen, and they have a 2-generation concept now where they're doing some tutoring and education and support there. And we know Caterpillar Ministries is in Huntington Green, and they're doing the Lord's work really in helping our migrant and immigrant populations. But Cool Kids Clubhouse, we had them on here.
Well, Little Smiles has worked with them very closely.
We have met them. They are amazing.
Work sometimes with the same children.
And they are helping kids who are going through cancer treatment or a cancer experience. And so that is incredible work that they're doing. So I'm delighted to see them on here. But Lydia's Loft, we don't often get to talk to Lydia's Loft. They are an amazing organization located in Huntersville that supplies clothing and shoes and accessories to women, children, and now men, I believe,
yes,
in need of clothing. And you can get a voucher written by a social worker or someone that can refer you there, and you can go every 30 days and be outfitted with between, I think, 30 and 45 pieces of clothing. And they are an amazing, supportive group of women from the church who care deeply about putting clothes on people's back. And they also accept gently used clothes that are that are in clean condition. They are a beautiful mission. They also have a little known prom closet that many folks don't know about. That what they do with that prom closet is they partner with several organizations that service folks with disabilities, and they put on a prom, and they take these dresses and suit coats and such to the center, and they get to dress up for one evening and have a prom and be Cinderella and Prince Charming. And it is an amazing thing to see and be a part of. in the past, they've helped support some of the Hope House women when they've gone to our gala. So they do amazing work. Feed NC, another one, food bank that does amazing work. When I think about the different folks that you have here involved, well done for picking some of the top folks that are doing amazing things. Bridge of Hearts is someone that we partner with at Hope House, and their objective is to give kids who are living in transition or in not so good circumstances a birthday party. And I wish I could videotape and show you sometime what the impact that has on these children and what impact it has on their parents to see their kids celebrating.
Yeah, she was on our show once.
Their birthday for the first time in 6 years, or having a cake that's just your cake, or, getting a gift when they've never had one before. So I just think that this is empowered work that you're doing here. Of course, the Kiwanis, they are fabulous organization that do some really good. And John Annarella's chili, don't mess with him and don't mess with his chili because he does a great job.
He's very proud of it. He does a very good job.
Very, very proud of it.
He'll stare you down if he doesn't think you like
it. It becomes, we were talking about this during the break, a very competitive, a very friendly, but very competitive competition. And I know John O'Brien last year did barbecue for the Hope House. And he said this year when it came around to signing up again, he's picked another non-for-profit, which we encouraged him to do. But he's like, I'm going to win it because I got robbed last year. My barbecue was the absolute best barbecue. So I know that, and maybe you can tell us, some of these are judged by professional judges, right? That have culinary experience, or tell us about the judges. We don't need to know specifically who they are, but what's that process look like?
Right. The judges will be giving out where the public, when they come in, they have a ticket that's worth $20 that they will give to the nonprofit of their choice. But the judges are judging. There are 3 cooking teams in each of 5 categories. John, you mentioned John. His barbecue will be in a category called beef and barbecue.
His vengeance barbecue.
Right. And then there's one for chili, one for vegetarian, one for casseroles, and one for desserts. So there will be 3 teams competing in the dessert category, for instance. And the professional judges are local restaurateurs in the Lake Norman area, either the owners of the restaurants or preferably their chefs.
Okay.
Who come in and actually have culinary experience, and they know the texture of the food, the seasoning of the food. They really, you don't want somebody like me who just enjoys a good meal to be judging this. You want people.
And you change them every year.
We change the judges every year, and this year we have 4 local restaurants that will be sending us one of their managers or one of their chefs to actually do the judging. And these judges will be giving a first prize award of up to $1,000 in each of those categories. So each of the judges will have at least $5,000 that they're giving out, and then all of the teams will be getting something. It depends on the total gate that we actually have, but we expect that there will be around $40,000 given out this year to the nonprofit teams, and the public enjoys this. The folks in the community. This is
fun.
It's a really fun event.
It's just a lot of fun.
We hope that the folks will come out and support us. We are expecting possibility of some rain showers, but certainly it's not going to be a big deluge, and we'll have some Interact high school Rotarians that will be helping to do the parking again this year.
Good. They do a great job. They really do. We're ready to go on a break again. We are flying through this show once again, but when we come back, we're talking with Bob Wilson. And if you want to call it, 844-STUDIO-4, we would love to take a call. You've got a question, if you have a comment about any of this fabulousness that's going to be happening next Sunday. And if it's raining, what better thing to do but go indoors at Langtree
It's raining sugar.
and eat? Yes, absolutely. We'll be back shortly.
Community Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, our warmest week of 2025 so far starts now. Plenty of sunshine. Warming up into the mid-70s easily for our Tuesday afternoon. Overnight low temperatures will fall back off into the low 40s, so a chilly night and a chilly start to our Wednesday. But we're going to make a run at 80 degrees for the first time this year. I think an opportunity for most of us to hit 80 for our Wednesday afternoon. That's your forecast. The WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is the WSIC Community Calendar. The Bet on Us Casino Night Fundraiser Gala is almost here. This black tie event, co-hosted by Absolute Hope Foundation and Hope House Foundation of Huntersville, supports local families in need. Join us for an unforgettable evening and learn how these organizations are making a difference in our community. Visit AbsoluteHopeFoundation.com for details. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day weekend on Saturday in downtown Mooresville with Shamrocks and Shenanigans. The event features live music, Irish dancers, a drum and pipe band, food trucks, festival adult beverages, cornhole, and a bar crawl. See you Saturday in downtown Mooresville from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Saturday night, the 500 Club in Statesville presents live music with Breaking Point Band. You will hear classics from 70s and 80s rock and have a band experience that you won't forget. Enjoy live music at 6 p.m. Saturday at the 500 Club with Breaking Point Band. Come on out and meet the WSIC team on Saturday, March 29th at Snooze Mattress in Cornelius. We will be doing a ticket giveaway, so stop by and sign up. Maybe Merle Fest. We shall see. We are looking forward to meeting you on Saturday, March 29th at Snooze Mattress in Cornelius from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Spring is in the air, and so are outdoor events at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 2025 calendar already has dates set for the Auto Fair, NHRA, NASCAR, Monster Trucks, Supercross, World of Outlaws, and more. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for season schedules, tickets, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Merle Fest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Now back to Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law, only on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. This hour is just fine, as it does every week.
Every week.
We wanted to talk a little bit about the raffles and some of the items that are going to be raffled and that type of thing. Bob, do you want to take that away?
Sure. Part of this event is to raise money for the community and also raise money for our local Rotary Club as well. And there's always a raffle. Debbie mentioned a few minutes ago about the cooler of cheer that her husband actually won a couple years ago. And this is a Yeti cooler. The cooler itself is probably worth $400 or $500.
Wow!
And it's full of premium spirits, wines, and liquors, and it's got a value of several $1,000s retail. And it is very, very popular. It's a raffle item, as well as some other raffle items that we have this year that are a little bit unusual. There's one of our club members has put together 5 or 6 large lottery tickets that have already been pre-purchased.
Yeah.
And some of these lottery tickets are automatic winners. I don't play the lottery, but I know a lot of folks understand how that works. And this series of lottery tickets is one of the raffle items also that we have. And then, very unusual, we have an old, it's a new 1950s vintage Roadmaster bicycle.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm an older guy. You younger ladies don't remember that, but I remember that. That was the bicycle. It was a 1-speed bike, but it had a horn and it had a light. And it had some springs in the front. It actually had some. It was a cool ride. And back in the 50s, That was the bicycle that everybody wanted to have and nobody could afford. And we actually have a vintage bike that is also going to be part of the raffle. But the big prize is the cooler a cheer.
Yeah.
And if Debbie's husband comes this year, he may
He
win.
can't win it again.
he may win it again. I don't know, but that certainly is very, very popular.
Well, I can't imagine going anywhere for $20 for all that food you can eat, and children are $10.
Well, the point is that you're paying to get in the door, but the money, you're not really paying for the food. What you're doing is,
But you're getting a spectacular
you're
lunch.
getting a tremendous lunch.
Yeah.
But you're actually helping with the ticket that you buy. All that does is get you in the door so that you can then deliver that ticket into the canister that's in front of the cooking team that's made up of 3 local men.
Yeah.
And supporting the nonprofit that they have chosen to cook for this particular year.
Well, and the party you have after to give the awards out is spectacular too.
Yes, that will be at the North Italia restaurant, the new Italian
Birkdale.
restaurant in Birkdale.
Okay.
That will be several weeks after.
That's where you used to have your meetings.
That's where our club used to meet.
That's
before,
right.
Before it changed venues or it changed owners. But that's where the award ceremony will be, and there'll be 40 or 50 folks there at that time. Primarily the executive directors, and as well as the members of the cooking teams, but the executive directors of the nonprofits. And at that time, that's when we'll be giving out the close to $40,000 this year to those 15 nonprofits.
Beautiful. Who are some of the folks that have sponsored this event? Can you talk about that?
Sure. We've got the North Harbor Club, Metrolina Greenhouses, Bob Gates and his construction company, Randy Marion and his automobile group. The North Harbor Club, which is where one of our Rotary Club meets. I think the Davidson Rotary Club meets at the North Harbor Club. Michael Dane's construction company, First Reliance Bank, Caterpillar, the local Caterpillar dealer in Charlotte, as well. The Pet Pilgrimage Crematorium, which is part of the Cabin Cook Funeral Home. They were certainly helping us there. We got contributions from Blue Cross Blue Shield. My old company, Rowboat Dock and Dredge, decided to give us some help. And then local folks as well, from just the people that have been part of this program for years, come and just give us a sponsorship of $250 or $500, trying to get the purse up for the judges. Next year, we intend to apply for a Rotary District grant that will give us hopefully $5,000 to $10,000 of additional money. Our hope is that going forward, this event can generate $50,000 to $60,000 a year.
Wow.
For the nonprofits, because Debbie, you mentioned some of the nonprofits earlier that do work, and when we were vetting the nonprofits, we asked them how many people how many families they worked with a year, and we have a synopsis of all this work that these nonprofits do. That the folks who come to eat with us, they'll get a copy of that so they can see what these folks really do. But the thing that's really impressive is that many of these organizations work on no budget. They are 100% volunteer driven. They just do good stuff, and what they are able to do is dependent on the amount of money that they have to work with. If you look at large nonprofits, I mentioned Habitat earlier. Habitat is a very capital-intensive nonprofit, and they have people like me. When I used to work, I was a professional development officer. I wasn't being paid. I was a volunteer, but my total goal was to raise money to build houses. these nonprofits that we're dealing with don't have professional development people. They are volunteers of goodwill. They're seeing a need in their local community. They're putting folks together of a common mind to address those issues and making something happen. They need some capital to do this. And that's one of the reasons that we wanted to create this event in the beginning, so that these small nonprofits could be fueled up to do some of the good work that, honestly, most of us in this community don't even see. You know, we're a very affluent area in the Lake Norman area. We're very fortunate because of that. But there are a lot of folks that are not as privileged as we are. And we have people in the community that are in touch with that need in our more fragile fringe areas. And that's what this Men That Cook program is designed to do, is to make people aware of what's going on and hopefully raise some needed capital for these folks.
Yeah, I think
if anybody wants to find out more information, they can go to the website at Lake Norman menthatcook.info.
Yes, Lake Norman menthatcook.info, and it explains everything, explains where to come and how to come and what to do.
I want to touch just for a minute, Bob, on some of the fundraising where you talked about these non-for-profits with these small budgets. I think what's really pivotal in the financial support that you give them is that these are dollars that they can determine where they're needed most. So a lot of times when you are applying for a grant, your grants want to know what part of your program or what is this going to or whatever. But those operational dollars that allow us to keep the lights on, to keep the power coming, to keep the heat coming and be able to service these individuals, people don't realize there's a cost expense with all of this. And every one of these little guys on here need to know that these dollars that they're raising will help we can live another day to be able to provide the opportunity and service that we give to them. So I'm just delighted that you're providing that resource for them. And before we leave, I just want to thank you also from the Hope House perspective, because I think we're doing a project with you in the spring. John O'Brien came over the other day, and we're going to be building some front porch swings for our cottages, Faith, Joy, and Grace. So I'm delighted, because that's always was a goal from the beginning to see swings on there, so our clients will come out of the house and feel that they're part of the community. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for the amazing work that you're doing with pulling this off. I know it's a real victory dance when you get to Sunday night, when you've pulled this off and you get to push all the papers and fold up the folder until next year when you have to plan again and get this. But I know the effort and the work that goes into planning and executing this. And I'm going to pray for a really good day and a prosperous day for you, and good parking lot attendance, because you've in the past had that, and that's really important. So whether it's raining or whether it's sunny, make sure you get yourself out to the venues at Langtree next Sunday from 11 to 2 to participate in happy hour. Now, unfortunately, it won't be happy hour at that time, but you'll be tasting some delightful treats.
Yes.
It will be a happy hour if you come.
Absolutely. It will be a happy 3 hour, right? And you're doing good in your community, filling your belly and having a wonderful social experience, which I think is marvelous, and learning about some of these nonprofit partners of ours that are out there doing good, putting hope and a smile on people's faces. Right, Margie?
I love it.
Which is what we say. Well, it has been a delightful hour spending this time with you, Bob. You've done a great job. I think you've got some great publicity here, and we're going to hope that you have 700 people that come out this time.
Well, we certainly thank you for the opportunity, Debbie, and thank you for the work that you do at Hope House, and Margie, also the work you've done with Little Smiles. Both two very, very wonderful programs, and we're very blessed.
I used to brag and say we helped 500 children this year. Now it's over 500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
So it makes your day feel really, really good.
At the end of the day, you sleep good, don't you, Margie?
I do.
Knowing that you've made an impact in our community. Well, thank you again for that, because that's really important, putting smiles on people's faces.
And a place to sleep, too.
Yeah. And then there's that, too, right? So We look forward to visiting with you next week when our guests are Kaylee Goforth and Nikki Cohen with the Absolute Hope Foundation. See you next week.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W260